What is AI? AI is kind of what it says on the tin. It's artificial intelligence as opposed to natural intelligence, which is displayed notably by human beings, but other sort of species as well. So that is when a computer, a machine, a device, an agent displays behavior that is considerably smarter than a human being, or potentially all human beings combined. And this is the stuff slightly of science fiction. It's the stuff that gets people terribly excited or terribly fearful. And I am very skeptical about whether that's possible, because I think to have a sort of super intelligence, you have to have consciousness, and I don't see how we're going to get there. And I won't say never, but I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime. The idea that we're living in a simulation, and how would you know? And most people would say, well, it'd be obvious, but why would it be obvious? I mean, you have lucid dreams where you sort of wake up inside the dream, pinch yourself to make sure you're not dreaming and carry on, and actually you're dreaming. So it's not impossible that everything is a simulation. And funny, if I get into that a tiny bit with this book I wrote called Digital versus Human, and philosophical questions about God. And I mean, one of the lovely things about AI is you get into some really deep philosophical questions about just about anything, which is, I mean, that's kind of where I'm coming at it from. I'm not coming at it from a sort of coding or computer science point of view. I'm coming at it from a sort of human and a sort of philosophical point of view more than anything else. There's a lot of debate at the moment about whether AI is going to replace humans. I think a far more likely scenario is, and we're already doing this, we work with AI. AI will be good at certain things, humans are good at other things, and if you put those two things together, that is a spectacular result. So you might have AI looking for brain tumors on fMRI scans, but it's overseen by people. You can put AI into a soft robot in care homes to look after people with dementia, but it's probably not a good idea to have no human involvement whatsoever. It needs to be to some extent overseen by human activity as well. Personally, what I think is going to happen with computing and artificial intelligence, I should say, is that we are going to mimic how humans learn more and more. I can see a situation where we release machines into the wild, as it were, as children, as babies almost, and they grow up in the human world and learn in very much the same way that humans learn. And this reminds me of something, which is I think a lot of people confuse AI with robotics. They're not the same thing. I mean, most robots these days contain AI, but they're not necessarily the same thing. And equally, you don't have to be a sort of 6-foot shiny biped like Terminator 2 to be a robot. The self-checkout terminals in Tesco, to my mind, are robots. A drone, to my mind, is a robot. So it doesn't necessarily have to move or have vaguely human form to be robotic. And a lot of the hysteria about artificial intelligence is deeply misplaced, and certainly the hysteria about robots. I think probably the biggest threat is around unseen automation algorithms, not robots as such. Is it possible to make a computer as smart as a human being? That depends on how you define a smart human being. That's an extraordinarily complicated question. Across the board, some people absolutely say it's possible, and we'll have it in 5, 10, 15 years. I am skeptical. I think that sort of rational, logical intelligence, yes. Emotional, social intelligence, I'm not completely convinced. It's very complex, it's very nuanced. And if you can, that's could lead somewhere quite worrying, actually. I mean, there's a lovely bit in that science fiction series Westworld where one of the sort of humans is trying to work out whether one of the robots is real or not, and the robot's response is, if you can't tell the difference, does it matter? That could be where we're going, potentially. But I'm somewhat skeptical. I think humans are extremely complicated, extremely nuanced, and extremely weird and stupid as well, actually. So that's going to be quite difficult to code.